This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of November 10th, 2025. The tides shift this week. We have a high probability of an atmospheric undertow. Keep your wits about you, ground yourself, and know that wherever we're being pulled back, there are things for us to investigate and learn about and rediscover and change. There's not much major astrological activity this week in terms of numbers. There won't be many new elements inserted into whatever you're dealing with, apart from the activities of the moon. But there's a high probability of dealing with quite a bit. The atmosphere is weirdly still or suspended in time, or like the Red Queen running in place, due to the impact of two back-to-back retrograde stations. Mercury's retrograde station was on the 9th, and we're going to continue to feel a sensation of hanging from that alone. But Jupiter also stations retrograde on the 11th, which is Tuesday, and Jupiter will be retrograde until March 11th. And this is what is likely going to create an undertow sensation, because Jupiter has been traveling in an extremely companionable, cooperative link with Saturn, increasing all kinds of whatever for a lot of people, a lot of obligations, a lot of awareness of what's going on with other people. And yes, Neptune in Pisces is in the mix. It's at the end of the zodiac, but the strong link, the tight link, is between Jupiter and Saturn. And this starts to tighten up a bit because of both of them being retrograde. Bottom line, issues of food, caring, nurturing, who's responsible for what, dominate the week. With Mercury's retrograde in Sagittarius adding to the discussion and the thinking, let's talk a little bit more about this interplay, because Mercury is generally fast moving and excited and exciting and adventurous and boundary pushing in the sign of Sagittarius, and the retrograde station and retrograde movement will be sparking frustration, people tripping on their feet, tripping on their tongues, having weird gaffes. This will particularly affect how you view reality, your attitude, your outlook. Sagittarius rules in the natural wheel the 9th house of belief systems, legislation, policy, politics, how we broadcast our messaging, relations with people, places, and things that are foreign to where you were born. The Mercury retrograde in this sign is going to highlight what is going on with long-distance travel, how easily we do or we do not move around. The first big event of his retrograde occurs on Wednesday the 12th, when retrograde Mercury meets Mars in the sign of Sagittarius. This is a moment of fusing thought and action, walking your talk, thinking something and following through with it. Words igniting action, maybe even fighting. Overcompensation, attacks because of differences in opinion, someone trying to shove their beliefs onto another. There are positive potentials. Something you stumble on, you then have the motivation to deal with. This is an echo of October 20th, when Mercury and Mars met in the sign of Scorpio, And now we get a do-over moment, and it may be more of an intellectual or policy moment or fueled by actual energy. The Mercury-Mars conjunction in Scorpio might have been more emotional or intense or behind the scenes or deep, deep below the surface. This one is very much on the surface. Look for what you can address in your own life and any kind of frustration that you're encountering, particularly involving machinery, because Mercury and Mars both have to do with things with moving parts. Look at anything that you get tripped up by as, oh, wow, thank you. I will deal with this. I will fix this. And that's pretty much all of the big aspects, big influences for this week. We still have ongoing heavy, heavy, heavy water influences with the Sun and Venus, what we value, and Jupiter and Saturn and Neptune all in water signs. That experience will intensify next week when Mercury retrograde moves back into Scorpio. And next week is as action-packed as last week was. So look at this week as not so much sailing through still waters, but having opportunities to refresh and regroup and take another look around and clear your thinking out and direct your thoughts and actions. They will work in tandem much more easily this week than perhaps they normally do. Homing thought of the week: show me how this benefits me. Song of the week: Thinking Round Corners by Jethro Tull. And the image of the week is a match catching fire. You'll learn more about this in my forecast for the month of November, which is at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. You'll also find helpful information in my Mercury Retrograde Survival Guide at Om Times. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 35 years experience. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, including a post that you can purchase as a standalone without having to subscribe to the Patreon, called Riding the Currents, and it explains the timetable and some navigational tips for all of the intense water energy that we're in well into December. And I am really grateful to the people who support my work there. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio and TV on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. I also host conversation on Facebook, on the page Empowerment Unlimited, and in the group the Astro-Insight Lounge. I post on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads at K.A. Biehl, and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian Channel. Talk to you next week.